Hey, this is Jim at Broadfield. Thanks for joining us for another Broadfield live episode every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. As you will see, we have a special guest joining us for today's show, and that is Kyle Fisher from Kiloview. Hey, Kyle, how are you?
Hey Jim, how you doing? Doing
Doing
well.
excellent. Kyle, we're going to give our dealers a chance to join us on today's live show while we're waiting for them to tune in. Let me ask you, where are you joining us from?
I'm in Pittsburgh myself, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so I'm on the East Coast.
Excellent. Not too far from Broadfield HQ here in New York. Obviously, we have lots of Kiloview products, and the products we're going to talk about today are here in the New York warehouses as well as our California warehouses out in LA. If you need any of these products, you can reach out to your Broadfield sales rep, 800-634-5178. We'd be happy to help you out. One of the things that I'm really excited about having Kyle to join us on the show today is not only are we going to talk about a new product from Kiloview, but we're going to make some of their current products even newer with some exciting upgrades across the board. I spoke to Kyle and Judy at the Infocom show in June, and they were showing off some of these great new features that were being rolled out across the product line. So we're going to talk about some of those great new firmware updates and some of the capabilities and how these Kiloview products are continuing to get better and better. Kyle, why don't we take a moment and introduce yourself and your role at Kiloview to our dealers today?
Sure, yeah. My name's Kyle Fisher. I'm in Pittsburgh. Like I said, I'm the technical pre-sales engineer. So I can assist with any type of pre-sales questions, any technical workflow questions about how to use our products, where they fit in, and different pieces, whether it's ingest, bringing video in, decoding, pushing video out, or managing that video in the middle, switching it. That's what I do for Kiloview, yeah.
That's great. And I think that's a valuable resource for our dealers. We have our workflow sales engineers with Glenn Seaman and his team here. And I know you've had the opportunity to work pretty closely with Glenn, Logan, and Dan already on our team in creating some of these different workflow solutions for our dealers. So thank you for making yourself available for that and for being an available resource right here in the US for all of our dealers interested in the Kiloview products. We are going to talk about some of the great new firmware updates and some of the features for these products. And I think the best way to start would be talking about Kiloview's commitment to updating your products and bringing these new features out to our dealers and to their customers who rely on your products in their workflows. Can you introduce the reason that Kiloview supports all their products in this way?
Sure, absolutely. So, we pride ourselves in listening to our customers, coming out with new features that our customers request, whether it's, specific little things or bigger things as well. We take all that into consideration for our products. So obviously very important is reliability and stability, so that the products run 24/7, so that, they're reliable and they're going to work. And then we're also adding new features. We're adding upgrades, we're adding optimizations, we're adding improvements. So over time, things just keep getting better and better. And, we really pride ourselves in taking care of our products, and we're committed to our customers.
And as a sales engineer yourself, I'm sure you realize that even the best designed product, once it's in use in the field, we see our dealers and their customers coming back to us with these unique applications and ways of using the products in ways that we never even thought of. By continually updating the firmware and the products themselves, not only are you fixing little bugs that might happen along the way, but you're listening to that customer feedback to give them new features and new capabilities. Because if we've learned anything, if one client's asking for the feature, there's probably three more right behind them with a similar application, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so one of the products that we're going to launch into are the Kiloview NDI encoders, decoders, which is really one of the first products that we've been very successful with, are the Kiloview NDI workflow solutions. There are some great new updates available for the N50 and N60, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are our flagship encoder, decoder. We have an SDI model and we have an HDMI model. And originally they were just NDI encoders, but we've since added encoding for SRT, RTMP, and those various IP protocols. That's new. And then coming down the pipe here in the next couple months, we're releasing updates for decoding those other IP flavors as well. Additionally, we've had HDR, so we're one of the only products on the market that can do HDR in NDI, and we'll be doing that in SRT as well, which is huge. We're one of the only companies that can do that. And additionally, we've also added interlacing support. So that's something that in the past we haven't had on numerous of our products, but we do have interlacing support on encoding and decoding.
Absolutely. I know I introduce it as an NDI conversion solution, but with
Hmm.
all the updates and the life cycle of the N50 and N60, it really is an AV over IP solution. And now
Hmm.
with some of these great new features you've talked about, NDI unleashed that 4K P60 HDR capability. And now that resolution and those features are available in the N50 and N60.
Hmm.
Now, the SDI embedded SEI timecode you spoke about as well, which really makes it a great solution for our customers looking at that AV over IP workflow solutions. The next product I want to talk about is the Cube R1. Tell us a
Hmm.
little bit more about that, Kyle.
Yeah, sure. This is our flagship NDI recorder. We can record up to 9 channels of 1080p simultaneously, or 4K, which is awesome. It's just a great way to get your video out of those NDI paths, get it recorded on local media, and then we've also added NAS storage. So when the product came out, it didn't have that, but now it does. So you can do continuous backups to NAS. So you have your network attached storage. You can push all your video right there, which is awesome. And additionally, because of that NAS backup, even if the unit loses power, that video won't be corrupted and it'll be preserved there on the NAS. So that's just a huge feature upgrade that we've added here.
Absolutely. And one of the things I like about that Cube R1 is when we talk about the multi-channel NDI recording capabilities and everything you can do with that system itself, this is where a phone call with Kyle and with the Broadfield sales engineering team can really help spec that into some of these different workflow solutions. And now with that NAS attachment capability, Broadfield is your source for all of these video storage solutions, everything from the Western Digital WD Red Plus and Red Pro drives to the shared media and entertainment storage solutions like those from Facilis. We can work with our team to make sure we set up a complete workflow solution for all your recording needs. So again, you'll see with the Cube R1, you're getting the independent recording capability, the MP4 format support, FTP upload support. All of these great new features have been added to this product through these updates since the initial introduction. Now, every time we talk about the Cube R1, we also segue into the Cube X1. Now, while they look very similar from a format and form factor point of view, the Cube X1 has some unique NDI routing and distribution capabilities as well, right?
Yeah, this is our NDI router and distribution system. Again, we've released numerous updates, but it's for seamless switching of your NDI feeds and also multicast broadcast or multi-unicast if your encoder doesn't support that. So this will help you get your channels, your NDI feeds, wherever they need to go, whether it's behind many TVs, like in a church or a medical facility. This is the product that you need.
Absolutely. And as we see people adapt NDI and other AV over IP solutions, we see that routing and distribution becoming more and more important. It's amazing how just a few years ago, the questions we were being asked were, should I go to AV over IP? Should I implement NDI in my workflow? Now, those same customers have implemented NDI and their networks have grown significantly to the point where that distribution and management of those feeds are becoming more and more important. So the QBETS1 is a great solution for our dealers to reach back out to your customers with these NDI workflows and talk to them about some possibilities of expanding their current configurations and workflows. And again, I know we keep on saying it, but this is where Kyle can be a very valuable resource for our dealers to talk about some of those different workflow needs. And now we're going to segue into some of the newer cellular encoding solutions from Kiloview, and that would be the P3 and the P3 Mini. Kyle, take it away.
Yeah, sure. These are our video bonding solutions for bonded cellular. So if you need to broadcast out in the field in a place with poor infrastructure, this is the product that you need. It'll bond those signals together, send them up to the bonding server, and from there you can turn it around in SRT or RTMP or NDI-HX and get your video back out. Again, we've released numerous updates. Now we can do HDMI and SDI in, but we can also do USB video from a USB camera. We've added USB PTZ support. We're also adding the SEI timecode embedding and SDI record run, so triggered recording from your device, so you can have your recording synced up in two locations.
And I got to tell you, I love the USB camera support. We're seeing a lot of the next generation of mirrorless cameras being introduced with that USB output. So whereas traditionally we always thought of the USB output as a webcam, now we're seeing it on some really high-end, beautiful-looking cameras, and creating that workflow solution with the bonded protocols on a P3 Mini for a 4G LTE network, the P3 capable of 4G and 5G cellular bonding. These can all be done very quickly, very easily. And we've got a great promotion to introduce on today's show as well. Kiloview is announcing an upgrade program to the P3 and the P3 Mini. Kyle, would you like to walk us through this program?
Yeah, certainly. So the P1 or the P2, those were our initial bonding encoders. Since then, we've released the P3 and P3 Mini, which are huge upgrades. So if you have a customer that has a P1 or P2 or several of those units, they'll be able to trade those in and get a pretty substantial discount towards either P3 or P3 Mini. And we're even supporting trade-ins on other brands and other models. So take a good look at this one.
Absolutely. And we are introducing this trade-in program on the show today. There will be more detailed information coming into your inboxes shortly, so you can share this with all of your customers. Your customers who own the Kiloview P1 and P2 can take advantage of a $300 rebate to the P3 Mini or a $400 rebate to the P3. And customers with competitive cellular encoding products. We all know who we're talking about, don't need to mention them by name, but it will give you rebates of up to $200 on the P3 Mini and $300 on the P3. Reach out to your Broadfield sales rep at 800-634-5178. We can help you out with those trade-in and help you and your customers take full advantage of those rebate opportunities. Next, I want to talk about the Kiloview E3, one of our more popular video encoders. This has some upgrades coming as well, right, Kyle?
Oh, yeah. E3, this is an excellent product. It's just feature packed, right? So it has SDI and HDMI input, loop outs available, and it can encode simultaneously on both of those up to 8 outputs each. So you can go RTMP, RTSP, SRT, all those other video IP protocols we support. New features we've added are similar to the P3, so it'll be USB input, USB PTZ support, and then also the SEI timecode and the triggered recording. So that, again, just adding a whole lot of value to an already extremely valuable product.
And that's the great thing about these firmware updates is you look at that E3 and you look at it from a hardware design point of view. How can you pack any more features into that product that does pretty much everything already? And you guys just keep on releasing the firmware and just keep making it better and better. We absolutely love seeing that. All right, now the star of our show. One of the newest products available from Kiloview, one of the biggest smash hits at the Infocom show this past June, is the RFO2, your new unified media center, rack mountable chassis, expandable, configurable modules, really the perfect solution for creative workflows that we can't even begin to imagine. I think our dealers and their customers are going to tell us some of the exciting things that they're going to do with this guy, right? So, Kyle, why don't you introduce the RFO2 to us?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, so this is our new product just coming out now. It has 18 slots, so you can slot into 18 FN50 cards or FN60 cards or any mixture of those, depending on your needs. So those could be encoders, they could be decoders for bringing in that video. Now it also has a built-in high performance switch, which is really nice. You just have one network cable going into the unit, and it'll populate that network out to all of those cards. Each card would get assigned an IP address. And it has our KiloLink management service built in. So you can manage those 18 devices very easily, all from one web interface.
And I
So
think that's
just,
one of the most unique things about the RFO2. It is not just an aluminum chassis. It
mhm,
is an aluminum chassis that is the master hub of the new Cradle series that gives
mhm,
you all of those features and capabilities to get the most out of your workflow. You spoke about the integrated network switch. That integrated switch gives you that high speed connectivity and everything you need to be the hub of your workflow, right?
mhm. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And then the Killer Link Server Pro, and once again the modular design. With that
Mhm,
modular design, you mentioned there were up to 18 different cards you could put in there.
mhm, mhm.
Absolutely amazing. So my challenge to our dealers is get me the workflow where you pack this thing out with 18 cards. That's the case study I want to build with these guys. I want to find out who's using this RFO2 to that kind of capability and that kind of max. Tell us some more of the great features about this chassis.
Sure, yeah. So, we put a lot of thought and a lot of hard work into this one, and our previous many years of experience. So, of course, we've considered cooling, making sure the cards are cool, operational, 24/7, and stable. We have redundant power supplies, so in case one power supply kicks it, the other one will keep everything operational. And on the front is a nice LCD screen, so you can check the status on the device if you need to reset it from the front, anything that you need. You'll be able to have control, check status on different cards, and just make sure that everything's uh, just running smoothly.
Perfect. Ease of use and reliability. That's really what the system is designed for. And it's giving you
Mhm,
all those different capabilities with the flexibility of choosing from different modules available to give you those
mhm,
workflow solutions. Kyle, you already
mhm,
spoke about the FN50 and the FN60, which are the modules that are, it's basically the modular version of the N50 and N60 that we spoke about at the top of the show.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
can you tell us a little bit more about the media gateway card, the FMG 400?
Sure, yeah. So we also have the Media Gateway card. This is like an IP cross conversion card, basically. So you can bring in either NDI and convert it to SRT, or vice versa, bring in SRT, convert it to NDI. So it's really that IP kind of cross converter and cross point for that. It'll also work as our bonding service. So if you have the P3 or P3 Mini, the this card is what you would purchase in order to bring in those signals into the cradle, and then you can push them out, for example, out of SDI, out of FN50 cards. So that's what that card is used for. I also want to highlight the compute card. This one
Yep.
will be coming out in the next few months. The compute card is basically a mini computer. It takes two slots, and from there you can run additional applications, whether it's Llama for NDI audio or OBS for your NDI broadcast. So you have a lot of flexibility running either Windows or Linux on it, and it has networking built in since it'll plug into the backplane, and there you go.
It's amazing. Now, you did mention that that card is going to be released a little bit later on this year. I want to let our dealers know, if you've been checking your email inboxes, the RFO2 itself is in stock at Broadfield and available now. The FN50 and FN60 modules are also in stock and available here at Broadfield. The FMG 400 will be shipping in just a week or two, so we will have those in stock. I'm going to say they're en route to us, so we'll have those shortly as well. So we can help you start specking out and building these workflow solutions for your customers today and make sure that they have everything they need to get their system up and running. And they can build a system similar to what we're looking at here. Kyle, why don't you walk us through this workflow?
Yeah, sure. This is what we were just talking about. So you can have your camera or your drone hooked up to, for example, a P3 that could be out broadcasting in the field, coming up to 4G or 5G. Bring in that video, that'll come in on a media gateway card, and then you can have two additional cameras running SDI right into it. And it just has everything in one nice, easy to use package, easy to set up, least amount of cables, just kind of trying to make things easy for ourselves. Why not?
Well, awesome. So in the workflow that we're looking at here, I would have the Cradle Series, the RFO2, with two of the FN50 modules to support the two SDI cameras you're looking at. And then added to that, we have two of the media gateway cards, the FMG 400, giving you that capability to bring in your bonded signal from the P3 that's being driven from another camera, from a drone, from anything out of the field. And as Kyle mentioned, we can talk about vMix production workflows, OBS workflows, Llama for Dante audio, live streaming capabilities. All of that can be done with this chassis system or Cradle Series that allows you to kind of become the brain of your AV over IP operation. Some of the different application scenarios. Kyle, I'm surprised that our font size on this isn't 4 points, because I think that it can fit into pretty much every application under the sun. But these are some of the key ones that we can talk about. Kyle, why don't you let us know specifically in like the enterprise and corporate AV space where you would see this fitting in pretty easily?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. If you have live streaming, if you have like a conference room, this could go in the server room and feed that video, power behind the scenes, just power all that video, move it wherever it needs to go, encode, decode. It's just a really flexible solution that fits into a lot of different workflows.
Absolutely. No matter how big the corporation is, no matter how large their campus is, AV over IP is going to give you that flexibility of being able to pull in a keynote theater, a conference room, or even a studio on site like we have here at the Broadfield HQ, where we're broadcasting to you from today. Now, we talked about the P3 trade-up offer before. We have another promotion to introduce on today's show, and that is a launch promo on the RFO2 Cradle Series. Kyle, tell us about the launch.
Yeah, so we're really excited about this product. We want to see it in as many people's hands as possible. So we're offering a 10% discount right off the bat. So
Wow.
no minimum order. Whatever you order, you'll get 10% off. And that's just to, kick it out the door strong.
That's awesome. And that 10% discount is off the RFO2 Cradle itself, as well as the modular cards. So you're really getting that discount extended over your complete workflow solution. So work with your Broadfield sales team. Give us a call at 800-634-5178. We can connect you with Kyle. We can connect you with our sales engineers to help build that workflow for your next project, quote, or bid. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. It's been a great time. Thanks, Jim.
I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being available to our dealers. We appreciate everything that Kiloview does to help answer some of these workflow solutions. And please continue making your products even better and better with all these great firmware updates.